If he's a full tithe payer, that is the only way that we can be with our Heavenly Father. Otherwise, we could not be in His presence.
By going through the temple and by adhering to various regulations, such as abstaining from tea or coffee, paying a substantial portion of your income to the Mormon Church, and giving free labor to various church-run organizations, the worthy Mormon can become a god himself in the life hereafter, ruling over his own planet with a number of goddess wives.
So you can see why the temple is so important to the Latter-day Saint. Because if he is worthy to go into the temple and there receive the sacred ordinances and covenants and keep them, he can eventually grow into becoming a god himself.
Before this newly completed temple in Seattle was closed to all but a select group of Mormons, visitors were given the opportunity to get a glimpse inside. For many of these Mormons who came from thousands of miles away and stood for hours in the rain, this may be the only time they will ever be allowed to enter a Mormon temple.
Tell me who God the Father is to you.
He is like you and I, every human being on the face of the earth.
So is he a man?
Yes, he is.
How did he get to be God?
He's perfect in every way.
So if we are perfect, can we become like God?
Yes, ma'am.
You know, the Mormon gods and goddesses, as Joseph Smith taught, were once upon a time just mere humans, just like us. And they worked their way up to becoming gods. There's supposed to be billions of these highly evolved humanoids somewhere out in space overseeing their own planet.
This sounds like science fiction or Greek mythology. Would you say that the average Mormon believes these things?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Floyd C. McAlvin, author of the bestseller, The Mormon Illusion.
They believe that God eternally progressed, that once he was a man and then he became God. From that comes their doctrine that all can progress to be gods. For instance, in Articles of Faith, they have this by Talmage, that as man is, God once was. As God is, man may become. So their whole doctrine flows from this, about becoming gods.
Gods and goddesses just won't fly in the jury room. Gentlemen, juries feel a responsibility to be skeptical. You need to feed them information that has a taste of truth to it. And what you're telling us, I really don't think they're going to swallow it, do you?
I did for 19 years. Again, you have to understand the peculiar belief evolving around the Mormon temple marriage. They believe that their godhood is tied to eternal exaltation through the marriage and through the family unit.
The Mormon Church teaches that in order for me to become a goddess, I needed to marry a Mormon man in good standings with the church. And without a husband that could take me through the temple, I wouldn't be able to go to heaven and be with my Heavenly Father.
According to Mormon theology, husbands and wives who have successfully achieved godhood will be required to populate their own planet by procreating as many spirit children as possible.
Ever since I was a little girl, I was taught that my primary purpose was to become a goddess in heaven so that I could multiply an earth. And I wanted that. I wanted to be eternally pregnant and look down on an earth and say, that's mine. And I populated that whole earth and all those little babies I had.
To tell you the truth, I find it extremely difficult to believe that the Mormon attorneys and judges I know actually expect to become infinite gods, peopling new worlds and engaging in celestial sex with their goddess wives.
Why don't you ask them?
Well, I would be embarrassed, to be honest with you. And if it's true, as you've suggested, that these people do plan to reproduce themselves across the universe, well, I'd rather not know about it. We do business with these gentlemen.
That's why it's such a secret. That's why even the Mormons don't talk about it. They're embarrassed by it, too. Look, Mormonism is based upon the belief that extraterrestrial humanoids from a star in a distant place called Kolob visited this Earth, came down to this Earth and visited a young boy, 14-year-old boy by the name of Joseph Smith. We had a little animation done to show the difference between Mormonism and Christianity, because Mormonism is so far removed from Orthodox Christianity. I'd like to show it to you for a moment, if you don't mind.